Hey, ¿qué pasa, Calexico? Welcome back to the podcast. Like always, before we begin, I want to thank my sponsors, my anchor sponsors, my homies Jake and Sergio. Thank you guys for sponsoring the podcast. And if you guys want to become a sponsor, make sure you check the link in the description of this episode. And any little thing helps, me bring you quality episodes. So yeah, make sure to sign up for that. And today we're here in Redline Studios with the crew from Redline Scene, Redline Studios, and a couple of the members of Three Kings. Thank you guys for being here. I don't know if you guys want to, do a little round and introduce yourselves. Do you want to start? Which side?
We can start over.
I'm Ivan.
Just
Gary.
Ivan.
Diane.
Luis. Everybody knows me as Rocky.
Rocky. But it was kind of quick. But can you guys tell me a little bit, what you do and what I mean? You're part of Redline Scene.
Correct.
Ivan?
Yes. I help Rocky out with the red light scene. Definitely help set up, help them manage the soundboard while they're performing. I'm also AKA Gourds, in case you guys hear it on the videos. That's me.
I'm Gary. I'm the lead guitar player, singer.
Speak
One
up.
of the singers for the Three Kings.
Speak up, Gary.
You're good.
And so anyway, so I'm part of the same Red Light Scene, and I'm part of the bands, and help Rocky put everything together. He puts everything together. That's his mastermind idea, and it's coming out really good. So I'm just really happy to be part of it.
Cool.
Yes, it's my turn. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Diane. I'm Luis's girlfriend, and I mostly handle the merch, help them set up sometimes. Little things. When it comes to advertisement, we go and set up posters throughout town and try to find the best locations for people to be able to see the shows that we're going to be having and be able to go. That's it.
Cool. And then we have the mastermind here of Redline Studios and Scene.
Yep, my name is Luis. Once again, everybody knows me as Rocky. I started off first in an old house, recording as many artists I could for free. I wasn't charging a penny, just to start gaining exposure. And then I purchased my home here about 3 years ago, and I started building this room and everything, and it's been pretty successful. And then I started with the Redline Scene 2 months ago, throwing shows, promoting shows, and that's pretty much what I do.
Okay. Yeah, because when I heard about you guys was through Sweet Orange. They mentioned you first because they came and they're recording some of the music with you, and then they mentioned the Redline Scene, and that's something that really caught my attention because that's kind of the same thing. It's something similar to what I'm doing in terms of giving people a platform to showcase their talent and just making sure people know what the talent that's out there, right?
Right.
So can you tell us some of the bands that you guys have been working with?
I started off in my parents' house years back, recording local artists like Dulce. She's one of my youngest singers that started recording there. Then some friends from work wanted to come and sing, like Juan Ochoa came in here to sing. Just people that just never had that luxury. And then my first band was a death metal band. I think they ended up breaking up. I completely forgot their name already.
That's true.
I know they broke up because I asked, hey, whatever happened to you guys? But they were my first customers. Then Sweet Orange came walking through the door one day, telling me that they tried recording elsewhere, it didn't work out, so they wanted to record here, and I took them in, and we started the process. They didn't have a drummer, so we worked something out so we can get things done. And then after that, I'm going through God, but Gary was, I think, my second or third official customer. He came with a bunch of songs by himself, saying, "Hey, I wrote these on drums, guitar, and everything." And so I helped him build a couple of songs with, meaty drums, and then I know the malt has been in here. God, the list is so long and I'm blacking out. I want to say I'm already tipping my around number 70 or 80 songs total that we've recorded here.
Oh, wow.
Artist wise, man. Stat Intervention was another customer of mine that came in. They did a few songs, an acoustic track. And right off the top of my head, I think one of the last ones that I started working with was the malt. The malt came in and they surprised me, and I now we're supposed to have Halfway Ghost coming in here, Aveline Wallflower. Eventually, they've already stated they're gonna be coming in. So, but I'm doing things extremely different today than how it was about a year and a half ago.
You do also like instrument artists too, like the trumpet.
That's true. Okay,
not
so
just focus on bands. There's anyone that wants to.
Social Criminals from Mexicali, I think that's the name of the band.
Mm-hmm.
They hired me to do the trumpets for them, to record the trumpet artists here, because I guess the engineer crossing issues, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So they recorded in the studio over there, and then they hired me to do the trumpets. We have had acoustic artists.
Vocal covers
Was Tony Turner. If you guys look that guy up on Facebook, find him under Tony Turner, one of the most amazing vocalists out there. He's from Alabama. He flew all the way from over there just to record here.
It's crazy.
We had a dude from Redlands come in, Christian acoustic artist. Amazing. The dude blew me away here. It was just huge. I loved working with that dude. We're still waiting to finish that project because the drummer lives here and he's lagging it. But so yeah, it's a wide variety of everything has been through here. You got the dudes that come in singing rancheras and all.
Oh, really?
It goes from left to right.
I guess that's his favorite music.
Yeah. He says
Well, when I get buried, I just want a whole band around me and just
he says his
bring me
favorite
down to
artist
the
is
ground.
Chalino Sanchez or something like that.
He has a tattoo in his chest.
yeah, Perifante.
Los Tigres,
How did you get into all, like, because I see all these knobs and stuff here that I have no clue what. I have my little mixer right here that.
So that's pretty much what you have right there is the same thing. It essentially the same thing. I got into this. I was a struggling musician in the Valley from 2001 to 2006. I was in multiple bands here. I don't know if you remember Studio Z. It's La Resaca now. Studio Z used to be in the back.
Okay.
We're going back many years. ACC grounds in Brawley. The skate park in Calexico, a lot of shows there. I actually just asked his son yesterday if that place was still open. Apparently, it's closed now.
Yeah.
Which one? The one that was on Imperial, or was
way in the back to where you could see the skate park, and you could see like Mexicali way down there, like in a dip.
Oh, okay.
So,
the skate park.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. They closed that down.
Yeah. So I ended up moving to San Diego for a little amount of time, and then I got in a band up there, and I guess to me some dreams started coming true where we were playing at Soma, House of Blues, big venues. And so because of that door opening, I ended up going into those venues when they were empty. That really changes the perception of how things are working, as opposed to buying a ticket to go see. You get to see the stage empty. You see the dudes working. You see the dudes wiring. And right off the bat, I was like, dude, like, I could totally fall in love with this work. And then I ended up recording at Signature Sounds in San Diego. And I fell in love right off the bat. So I started getting my feet wet there with learning a lot of stuff. And then I think I got my associate's degree. My grandmother bought me a MacBook. Which was crazy. She bought me my first MacBook, and then I downloaded or GarageBand came with it, and so like. I thought I was like the most amazing producer. It was really funny. I was in my apartment thinking like the fake drums that come in there. I'm over here like, dude, I'm gonna be a producer someday. And it was really funny because I was like doing like these 3-track productions, and I thought like I was like, okay, I've learned everything.
Yeah.
And then I started realizing how much I did not know as time went by. I was really into it. And then I moved down. Went through a rough patch in life where things just went to a pause for 4 or 5 years. I was extremely inactive. The only thing I was doing was learning how to record by myself, no band. That was it. Things got better in life. Started investing, and once I felt I was like kind of getting ready, anybody who wants to come in and record for free, come on in. I need to expose myself here, and that's where it started.
And that's a really smart word to say, investing, because
can be expensive.
Yeah, I mean
yes.
My setup is like super budget, but people see it and like, oh, looks like so fancy. Yeah, it looks fancy, but it's like super budget. Like it's the tip of the iceberg. You can go like way better. Like this mic, I know this mic because that's like one of my dream mics, right? and yeah, you gotta see it as an investment. Like especially if you're if that's your plan, like to make it like a like a job or like an income. It's really smart. You see it as an investment because
I think at one point in time in my life, I spent too much time listening to the negativity from people in my career or people around me, period, where they were just looking at this kid around music. I think the feeling being in podcast. People look at you like, grow up. Yeah. And I guess for so long, I actually started to believe that thing, and I think over the course of this past, over the past 5 months, what am I doing? Like, this does produce money. This does produce income. It connects you to people, and from one day to the next, I mean, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. She helps me organize a ton of stuff. Eventually, the muscle needed to be there. We have more helpers. We started investing. And yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had messages on my phone like, dude, like, you're wasting your time. You're wasting this. No one's going to do that. No one's going to. But I mean, Red Line Scene got started on December 22nd. What's today's date? February 26th or something like that. Yeah. Right off the bat, we already have Strike Zone in the pocket for April. We already have Inferno. We already have Pentagonal. We already have Calexico Brewing. We got picked out for the Chuck Fest
this Friday.
We have Ricochet. So like we went out and I just made a list of things that I was gonna do, and I went out and I did them, and it sucks because a lot of people just see like, oh, he ain't doing nothing. Mm-hmm. But it requires so many fancy emails. It requires so many. Please let me take a moment of your time to sit here and give you a speech. Just trust me. I know what I think I know what I'm doing. And yeah, I just
something that I learned was with the podcast, I've been doing it for like a year and a half, a little bit over a year and a half now. In the beginning, like I kind of like I literally did that. Like I reached out to a couple people that were politicians, and they're like, "But who are you?" Like how politicians are really.
Picky over who's talking to them. Period.
Because normally, people like to hear gossip or or ask them this because I heard this and this. But yeah, you heard, but do you know if it's true or not?
Right.
But that's not what I'm about, right? So when they started noticing that, to me, it's more of the conversation, more of telling the story, and at the end of the day, like especially when it comes to like politicians, like. If you want to believe what they said on the podcast, it's up to you.
Right.
But it's out there, and whoever said, whoever I interviewed said this and this, and if later on they don't, come through or you find out it's not true, like you can tell them like, you know what, I heard you on this podcast, but I'm not gonna do that. But what I'm trying to get is to that people started to see that what my goal was, to put people out there and to showcase people that are doing some cool stuff here in the valley. So now I have people that are waiting for me to have them on the podcast. And at the beginning, I had kind of literally like begged people to be on. Hey, come on the podcast. Like, what's a podcast? And so, I mean, I guess like it kind of shows that your work speaks for itself. So people are starting to see like the quality that, because I was out there on Saturday, and it sounded really good. The bands I can tell that they really feel comfortable with you. Yeah. They feel they know that you're gonna bring out really good equipment, make them sound good. So whoever's gonna see them that might be their first time listening to them, you're gonna be like, oh man, this band's really good. So like, yeah, I mean, your work's speaking for itself, and it's kind of showing with all these venues that you guys are booking. So congratulations to for that.
Thank you.
And I believe that's why you get a good show, because all those bands and we all get along. We all come and record here. We'll bump into each other here when we're recording. We all give ourselves ideas, and it's all good. I mean, this Saturday we're all playing in San Diego. All these bands. I mean, so we're all going to have a blast, man, in San Diego with these young cats. Mm. I mean, I can't wait. So it's a vibe. It's his vibe. I mean, we see them. I mean, we love it, blah blah. And I think we've taken like the malt and sweet orange, huh?
We've pretty much
roller coaster with us, man.
It's more than
cool.
That. Huh? It's more than that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, what he does is more.
He mentors them and helps them.
Oh, I believe that.
No, not only that, but he gives a platform, not because he's trying to build his scene. In the long run, yes, he is, but he's actually doing it because he wants them to know who they are. He said it at the last show. He's like, I'm here to help musicians, because he knows what it was to be a musician without help.
Yeah.
And he's doing that out of the goodness of his heart. He doesn't have to do that. He could be like, no, I'm going to be picky. Like, I don't want you on my, show. No. He said, you send me something, let me hear it. I'll be happy to put you. I think we just recently got the Mirage.
Mirage came in, and then our list went from, the funny story how this is, like when I first started this, I legitimately had a prude of a jerk hit me up out of nowhere to say, hey, I noticed that all your shows have the same bands. You're not doing much, blah, 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 blah. I was so offended, man. Like, you can even ask her, I was losing. And for things to get under my skin, I mean, like, you got to pry at it pretty hard. And I'm like, you don't even know what I'm doing, And he's out there blasting. Like, I ended up getting a text from a coworker. Hey, who's this fool? What are you talking about? I look, and it's like laughing symbols. And this dude has a business of his own, and he doesn't even know till this day that I actually got him a customer, because they came here for a wedding project, and I was so offended by that comment, like, oh, you're booking the same bands. And I'm like, dude, I did that for a reason. There's strategy behind that.
Yeah.
I picked the people who I felt perform good live. And obviously the first 3-4 shows is probably always going to be us. But we went from having a list of like 4 or 5 artists to 17. Some from out of town. We met this country dude that was like, it's amazing for the crowd, for like Pentagonal on a night where the farmers want to come out and enjoy that country music. And I'm like, dude, there's like some little soft punk bands here, not punk, but like some softer rock bands. We can have that dude close, and that'd be great. So it obviously everything takes time, and some people just don't see that. They see they wanna go and criticize right off the bat what it is we're doing, when they don't see, yes, a lot of the new flyers have the Mall 3 Kings and everything, but as you see,
it's barely the beginning.
Right, as you see them going, we're already on our 5th or 6th or 7th event. You're already starting to see some of the bands drop and new ones coming in, and eventually, guess what? We will not be there. Like, for example, this Friday.
Yeah.
We're not there. Why? Because now we got Spastic, which you guys should check out. They're an amazing punk band. I listen to them from time to time. A Halfway Ghost is on there. They write some pretty cool, catchy stuff. Reminds me of like things like Seosin and stuff like that. I listened to a lot when I was a kid, you know. Amazing. Aveling Wildflower's not on there, you know. Now the Malt and Sweet Orange are still the people I rely on making these events big, you know, and eventually they're gonna drop and we're gonna have to go on and go on. I'm not, you know, like the Malt and Sweet Orange have asked me, well, does that mean you're no longer gonna give us a show? No, it doesn't mean that, but everyone's gonna get a chance. Like obviously I did this by strategy. You know, I thought, hey, I know a few good bands. Let's put on a few shows. And other bands are going to be like, wow, I want to do that. Yeah. And it worked because our list went long. Yeah. I also started helping out some musicians. They're like, hey, man, if you know any metal musicians, let me know because I'm like a starving guitarist to be in a metal band. Just last night, it finally happened. And this dude just texted me earlier today and said, dude, like, I'm getting a hold of this guy finally, you know. Because another customer came to me last night and they need a guitarist. I had told this dude 3 weeks ago, it'll come up. Yeah. And it came up. Yeah. So everything, I feel everything has a plan to everything. It's just in a town like this where everybody knows where music is not really supported all that much, it's pretty hard for people to see the big picture. But I have a very huge picture in the back of my head of what this is going to turn into over a year or two. Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about, because there's Red Line Scene and then Red Line Studios, which is kind of like this mingled, but there's
Red Line Studios was a company that I started, and the name is a little more personal. A lot of people think like, oh, Red Line, you know,
Red Line is like
very typical, you know, but it was more personal. A lot of people ask me why I chose the word Red Line Studios. My father, may he rest in peace, was a community mechanic who would literally do work for the community because he was a disabled person. So he ended up fixing cars every day at my house. 2-3 cars a day, 2 cars a day, whatever. He was known to be that mechanic that would damn near not even charge you because you needed help. Yeah. And we had a lot of fun, you know, and he knows, hauling ass on cars, souping up cars, and at Red Line. That's what we would do to the cars. So it was very personal. It was very personal. I didn't choose it because it sounded cool. Could have came up with a million other things. Yeah. Being an artist myself, but Red Line was more of a token towards my father. What I'm trying to do for musicians is the identical things he did for so many people who didn't have money, that couldn't even have their cars fixed by Pep Boys because they were getting eye gouged or something. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, yeah. So as he did for cars, I do for musicians. So I started recording only. It got pretty solid over 2.5 years. Like I said, I'm tipping almost my 80th project coming up already here in only 2.5 years. Oh. And one day, like, I started saying, you know what, dude, like, I'm just not happy with the music scene. I'm not happy with the quality. I'm not happy with what people, it's so disorganized. You know, I work in a place where 600 people work. And when you talk to them, they buy tickets to go out of town for music. Yeah. And it's like, why? Why don't you just go to a Pentagonal show? Every time I go in there, it sounds bad. I leave. It's the same thing every time by every person.
It's true.
And it's just like, it sucks because it's like, dude, that hurts. That hurts to hear that, because that means that person's going to tell everybody, and that person's going to tell everybody. No one's ever going to want to go see a local act that could possibly put up a good show. Yeah. So one day I said, I'm going in quality. I need quality. Some people look at me like, oh, dude, why are you spending $1,000 on 5 mics around your drum set? Because it will deliver quality that people need to hear and feel comfortable with and be like, damn, you know? Yeah. I was addicted to that at the House of Blues, hearing sound testing. And I'm like, I want to recreate this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? In some random bar. Yeah. And that's kind of where I looked and I said, well, the name Red Line's already pretty well established. Call it the Red Line music scene. And eventually we're going to have a lot of people coming out of the gopher holes. I need a place to record. Walk this way. We're going to help you. You know, that's, and I called up my friend. I have a friend from San Antonio, Texas, Emmanuel. He runs a graphic, like little graphic business. He's been doing my work forever. Do something for Redline, and I want it like this, like this, like this, and boom, there it comes. Every flyer is gonna be my thing. Where every flyer you're gonna see 4 of those R's.
Oh, okay.
And every flyer is gonna be like our stamp. We want to do something that people will know. Oh, they're doing it.
Yeah.
We don't just want to do something.
Yeah.
We want to do, everybody knows what the Chevy logo looks like.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trying to. That's what I'm trying to do.
The Ford
Smart.
logo.
Yeah.
The color red is also psychologically something that catches people's attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's why when you go to stores, they have a lot of reds because they
abre el apetito.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we are. She's the organized one. So she'll put those things, those little touches that you would think are not necessary, but they make a world of a difference. She comes up with laminating stuff. She comes up with the nice handwriting. She comes up with setting up merch booths.
Those chalkboards.
The chalkboards. Things that legitimately make people go, there's work being put here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
First impression.
It makes,
Yes.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So it helps out. It helps out.
You said you have a job, like your 9 to 5. How much time do you spend after work on, in here?
I'm actually I'm out at the moment right now as we speak. I'm not due to return until after I go through a surgery.
Oh, okay.
But due to the time that I've been out, instead of wasting my time, that's where I went full gear, 100% with everything here.
Yeah, because I spend a lot of time on my computer, like, and just like little things, like like you're saying, like doing little small promos for Instagram and Facebook, and following people that I might think that
benefit you.
Yeah, and networking is I get when you're saying, like, I'm gonna get this band, and then this, I know this band's gonna listen to this band, and then they're gonna want to come on the scene, and that's there's a lot of things that you're doing that I'm that I've been doing myself, like kind of like networking and stuff like that.
They work.
Yeah.
Yep.
I did not believe in these things a year ago. I didn't. I thought that these kind of things are achieved by, I guess you would call them the cool people or the networked people, the social people. It's all bullshit. It legitimately helps anybody who just tries.
Investing.
It was so cool that I'm so glad I went through. I'm so glad I went through what I went through. They're gonna perform a surgery at the end of March on my shoulder, but I'm so happy. I'm so blessed. I'm so happy it happened to me because I actually got to listen to owners and their businesses, and I'm like, wait a minute, this doesn't seem that hard. If this dude can do it, so I started adapting. I started doing the promos. I started doing stuff like that. And they work. I was like, holy crap, it works when you try. But because music, art, poetry, anything that comes from an artist background, it's that scary field that everyone is so scared to give it their all that nobody can ever really talk about a good outcome.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's called insecurity. And I think that's why everyone will badmouth it real quick, because we don't really have friends who made it. We also don't have very many friends who do a lot of the work. So, we're giving it our all. Like our all. So, it's funny because we've achieved so darn much in only 60 days, and we're barely starting.
Yeah.
We're barely starting.
And I've been, because of the podcast, I've been meeting a lot of like artists, people that do art or poetry and stuff like that, and yeah, it kind of sucks the way that the community doesn't support local art. They do it, because there's a couple of people that I've met that kind of like made it. I don't know if you know Ernesto Llerena.
No, I don't.
What's the other guy?
Who is that?
He's He's an artist that does a lot of graphic design. He like spray paints. I forgot what they're called.
Yeah, it's like he does like patterns and then like he'll spray paint over there.
Was that the dude that did the Statue of Liberty thing at the Art Walk?
No, somebody else. But he does a lot of political things that are for the community, for Chicano movement, for
nice. He's really into what do you call it? It's a word I'm thinking of.
More like minority rights, I guess. You could say.
Yeah, but like the movement, like civil rights movement and stuff like that. He actually made a poster for how LA teachers went on strike. So he made like the big poster for them. Well, he actually, Shepard Ferry.
I do not.
The guy that did the Obey. And then
yeah.
Well, he was his mentor.
Oh wow.
So yeah, like there's a couple of people that have made it like him, and then Fernando Reza. I don't know if you know Fernando Reza. He's also from El Centro. He does work for like Marvel and yeah. So people like kind of like do once they make it. People from the valley like, oh yeah, I know this guy, but yeah,
all of a sudden,
yeah,
all of a sudden.
But yeah, like when it comes to like supporting people that have a lot of talent, that are grinding,
currently trying,
they're in the struggle.
Yeah, they're grinding. They don't really help out, and sometimes it's kind of hard because here in the valley as it is, people a lot of people struggle to make ends meet, right? So like if you go to an art walk and they're selling a poster for $25, you're like, should I spend $25 on a poster or maybe take the family out to eat?
Yeah.
So we got to find that happy medium to see how we can support them. And I don't buy a lot of art, but this is my way to support them. There's people like if you're on Instagram and these artists, these local artists, like I try to share like local artists that are trying to make it. I'll try to share their stuff on Instagram, or if you want to support and you can't really do it with money, that's a good way to.
There's always ways.
Yeah,
there's always.
There's a good way
to find that out over the course of the past 2 months where I've been in super high gear. And I know it sounds dumb because I've been saying it. I think since our very first show, I always tell people, pull out your phones and click the like button, because that was like my thing. I wouldn't stop saying it. You would be surprised, and I don't think a lot of people get that here. You would be surprised how much it helps.
Yeah,
to just click that button, because
those likes are what got Sweet Orange the gig in the Whiskey A Go Go.
They got us into the Whiskey A Go Go, and because I came from like 2010, 2011, I was actively playing in places like Soma and the House of Blues. Social media in this day and age, whether we like it or not, it
very
runs
impactful.
Everything.
Yeah.
And so if House of Blues gets an email from Three Kings, well, let me see how many followers they have. Yeah, and if they only have that's the first thing, and a lot of people from this town don't understand. Like, dude, we're not asking you to be at all of our shows, but that support of just liking us, because trust me, I've been in the office room with House of Blues and how they do that, and I see the ladies working, and they're like, hey, we got this band right here. Well, check their followers, make sure that they exceed over 2.5K, and I'm like, wow, that's how that works, and that sucks because like. There's so many amazing bands out there that perform so darn good. They have so much talent, but you got people in this town that just go, fine, support, and what they're doing. They're legitimately knowing that it's not going to help them, so they won't.
Where I found out the power of social media when we played in Hollywood for the first time. And I remember being in the hotel room after we played, and I had all the pictures, and I was putting up the pictures, and I was hashtagging Hollywood. Or the Whiskey Go-Go, hashtag Whiskey Go-Go or West Hollywood, and just put those down. By the morning time, our Instagram shot up like crazy.
We started getting messages offering more shows in town, and they thought we were from there.
They thought we were from Hollywood.
We're like, we're not from here, man. Like,
the first day we got there, right? They were like, so where are you guys from? We're from Imperial Valley. Where's that at?
Oh, they're like, Imperial Beach, San Diego. Yeah, I love that place. No. And we always get confused with that. We're like, no. We're like.
But they gave us a shot. Huh?
We had a very good time. We got to open up for Sponge, And it was really cool because I remember listening to Sponge. Whether
90s.
everyone likes it or not, we all listen to Sponge.
Yeah.
One time or another, we heard that one song, and we're walking up the stairs, and holy crap, you're the singer of Sponge. Yeah, what's up, guys? How's it going? I'm like, hey, all right. So this is how it works. All right, cool. Can we take a picture? And then you start seeing that these dudes are really down to earth, and they have their insecurities too, and they're human beings, and they treat you so nice, and they're like, oh, hey man, check this out, and they're showing you their merch, and I think
the bassist was like in charge of the merch for a little bit. And he was like talking to us.
He was talking to me like if we have known each other forever, and I thought that's so cool. And what got us there? You have to fulfill a certain amount of likes to be there, and then every other show that's came our way. We're about to perform at the Brick by Brick Saturday. See, we're about to perform at the Brick by Brick on Saturday, and that's the guys from As I Lay Dying own that place. So I've performed there one time. That was actually my last performance before I went in on a personal hiatus, 2014, and I got to hang out with the guitarist of As I Lay Dying. I'm a huge metal fan, so I was like, oh my god, So we're gonna go do that again.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny that you mentioned that how far a like or a subscribe can go. I mean, and it doesn't cost anybody anything.
And that's the sad part too, is that you actually have people here that legitimately know the impact it'll have on them, but they choose not to support. I see that a lot. A lot. It damages so many great poets, acoustic artists, all kinds of musicians. It's like, why? We should help each other.
But sometimes I kind of feel that here in the Valley, people aren't really into, like, for instance, on YouTube. They'll go to YouTube and they'll see what's on trending or
right,
but they really don't subscribe to people's channels. Or I mean, Twitter here isn't as big as in other places.
Yeah.
Instagram's. I think a lot of people here use Facebook
and Instagram,
but Facebook's more for I want to sell my shit. I want to see what's on the Imperial Valley neighborhood
for
watch.
Old people.
I want to see what.
I want to write a song about that.
Facebook's like a new MySpace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook's like the new MySpace.
Gotta clarify.
I've never had a MySpace.
But yeah, Instagram's what's
That's actually how
Instagram's where it's
yeah.
MySpace.
And I feel that sometimes, I mean, you there's the people that are using social media here and don't like your stuff. It's because they really don't want to like it. But then there's the people that use social media but really don't use it for, I don't know, to promote stuff like, or to follow local artists or whatnot. I feel, especially because of podcasting. Podcasting has a lot of people tell me like, oh, it's something new. I'm like, dude, like I've been listening to podcasts for years now, and you think it's something new. So yeah, people are like, we're a little bit behind when it comes to like that kind of stuff.
I guess I could understand that.
Yeah.
I mean, because, well, I mean, it's not old for me, man. So you should know too. But I get it. But I mean, no, you legitimately. Thank you very much. You legitimately do have people. That you ask, hey man, do me a favor. Can you please you copy the link, you send it to their message. Hey, can you please share this on your page? And then they don't, and I'm like, it damages more. It does more damage than it does good. For the people that do and for the people that show up to our events, we know who you are. We know who's supporting. We're paying attention to a lot more detail than people think. That's one of the reasons why I started the Red Line scene. I wanted to be extremely organized, paid marketing. I want to turn this into a legit business that people can call me over the phone and say, hey man, we need sound and we need this kind of genre, bring it my way. Cool, got you. That's eventually the goal.
And is it only music or
right now as we're starting, I would say it's bands only, but eventually it'll branch out. I just got offered a job to teach recording, intro to recording for the
arts.
House of
Interval.
Cultural Arts.
Oh, okay.
And they offered me a job and said, oh, you know, you could teach intro to recording engineering. So I took it. I thought it was a volunteer job. I thought, you know, now they're coming at me with, oh, you need to get fingerprinted. And I'm like, wait, what am I doing? And they're, no, you're getting paid, like, by people to take your classes. And I was like, oh, it's one of those. So, okay. Then, you know, she took me to, you know, I got to see the inside, and she gave me a tour of Kimberly's her name. I'm pretty sure you know who she is.
Kimberly Alfaro?
No.
She runs a House of Cultural Arts in El
That's
Centro.
the old
Post office.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
She runs it. Oh, she's, in my book, the #1 artist when it comes to painting
Oh, really?
in the world. Here. You know, everywhere. I don't see better work. So she took me to another place behind, I think, Walmart over there. She got another office. And then she started telling me, oh, you know, just, you know, that's where Odds and Ends moved their second location. And I was like, oh, this is where you guys came. And she says, oh,
The
well,
warehouse or something like that. Yeah,
but it's pretty nice. And she goes, well, here's this place. If you ever want to throw any events, you're eventually going to have the key to this place. You come and throw your events here, and you can have open mics. So then she kind of like planted that seed where I was like, well, you know, she's a poet herself. Not an active one at that, but that's what her thing is. Poetry nights.
Yeah.
Provided by the Red Line music scene.
No, and the things like
acoustic nights,
I've done
you know?
stand up here and there, and a lot of times the audio sucks, and a lot of people can't really hear your jokes clearly. So like it kind of like sucks. So like, you know, that's why I asked, because I know that, you know, well, Cital from the
Jose?
he does stand up too, so he's always like struggling to bring, like, he has a little speaker and
oh no, we're eventually gonna branch to we're sound. Red Line music scene is us with subwoofers, towers, speakers, mixers, everything, professional mics. God, we have over $3,000 worth of microphones alone that I've been gathering for years, and he threw in a couple. She purchased me a couple. We just, you know, I got tired of hearing, God, every time I go there, everything sucks. I need to change that mentality. I want people to come and do their stand-up comedies if they need us for that. When the delivery, the way they process everything, I want it to be like, dude, that shit sounded good. It sounded really damn good.
Yeah, because I mean, especially when it's like stand-up, it needs to be like, the voice needs to
crisp.
be like, yeah.
Right. Oh,
Very
yeah, for
crisp.
sure. And again, it's quality of the equipment. And that's why some people don't understand that part of it. You know, I mean, we, thank God we can afford, or we can get the equipment that we play with.
Yes.
You know, the amps, the guitars, everything we have.
We're very blessed.
You know, I mean, and it shows when we're out there playing. It shows the equipment sounds great. The guys that play with us, they know that equipment is good, and they're going to sound good. And that's why they put 110% all the time.
Yeah.
And it's more like, how do you call it? Just knowing that everything's going to be good. You know, because when we go play other places, you know, when we play San Diego and whatever and what have you, everything's different all the time. The sound system's always different. You know, like when we play Hillcrest, you know, the sound system was always, you know, going in and out. You know, the sound guy can be really good. The house, when we played the Hard Rock Hotel, the guy was really good with us.
Yes.
The sound, that guy, you know, hey, man, bring up my monitor up. And also, you got to be professional, too. You know, you, as an artist or whatever you want to call yourself, you're up there. Be bold. Hey, excuse me, put up my monitor, please. Okay. Yeah. And when you do that stuff, then they kind of respect you a little bit more. They're like, oh, I guess this guy really knows what he's. Yeah, you got to do that. Don't be timid. And I've been learning that and stuff, especially with Rocky here. You know, I mean, you know, we go up there and we present ourselves as professionals, being from here from Imperial Valley. You know, we're out there showing ourselves as professionals. We go there and we present ourselves. Okay, we're not just over there all shy and, you know, they say, okay. And then when we play, we give it all we have. We give it to them.
Yeah, and I just like in a little bit I was here before we recorded. Your story is kind of funny because, you know, you just retired.
Yeah.
And, you know, you found this opportunity of recording with them and playing with them. and I can see like you're super excited to be part of, you know.
Oh, dude, I'm ecstatic. This is my life, right, bro?
Yeah, that's pretty much what yours is right now.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, I met him. I met Rocky, like he said. I had a bunch of songs. There were like 10 songs. And I told this.
I first met him selling cars, but
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. He sold when he was working at a dealership. He sold me my truck and one of my cars.
Oh really?
So I met him then. So we're in his office and we're talking about music. We're talking about music. So like we were like blah 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 blah. And next thing you know, he sold me the cars, and then I didn't see him for like 4 years, probably 4 or 5 years. And then he saw me on Facebook. Right, and he told me he was starting this recording thing. I told him, dude, I got 10 songs. Hey, how about recording my songs? Okay, cool, man. So we came here, we started recording songs, and then we would, like a month or so in between, we'd leave off, and then we'd come back together again. And then it was a period of time that he says, you know what, dude? What do you think about putting a band together? Because this is what he's told me, that I remember. He's like, I think your songs would really hit really good at the clubs, at the things, and people would really like your songs. What do you think putting a band together? And I was like, are you serious?
At first I was no.
Yeah.
At first I was no, because I'm a metalhead. By heart, I'm a very big, I'm a guitarist, first of all.
Singer, bass player, songwriter.
And at first he had told me, and I'm like, yeah, you do that whole, yeah, dude, I'll think about it, like, we'll see what that man. Yeah. And then I went out on my own, like, I guess, okay, I got to get back into the game. And I was traveling to San Diego once or twice a week just to band practice with my metal projects. And it didn't work out. Wasn't going anywhere. And this dude comes up, and it was really funny because I'm never going to forget the day. He was standing right there when he I'm about to leave the room. I remember it like it was yesterday. Yeah, he tells me, start a band. I said, fuck it. Let's do it. I just tried out for another band and went to crap. All right, whatever. And so, as I stood up, I'm about to walk out of the room. He stands for me. He's like, dude, I got an idea. And he does the most like retarded like movie skit like impression. He goes, we could be called the Three Kings. And I looked at him and I said, you're retarded. I would never be in a band called Three Kings. Fuck, that is stupid.
Right?
I would never. No. Walked out. Now you have the shirts piling up everywhere.
Yeah, we got them on the posters, and
they're everywhere. And I'm just like, I remember thinking that is the most ridiculous name he could have came up with. And then, as the days rolled by, it grew on me. It grew on me. It's really cocky, bro. Especially if you're only really 3 musicians. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that. That's really like you're prick waving, bro. Like when you're putting a name like that over yourself, and then one day I was like, man, fuck what people think. Whatever. Yeah. It is catchy. I hired a dude, a local artist, Joseph Bean is his name. He's a amazing, good sketch artist. I think he still works at Driscoll's doing like the shirts and stuff like that. And he's the one who was like stealing his picture of how things were supposed to be, and he's like, dude, it'd be like a skull with like a smoke with 3, like a crown.
It was vision, man.
He was, but the way
I had this like super planned already, man.
He had it he had it all in his head, and I'm over here like, God, this is so dumb. There's no way this is gonna hit. There's no way anyone's gonna want that crap. Okay, whatever. Well, here it is. I mean, so there it is. That's what he's like. He's over there talking about, and so I called this kid up, and we offered him what, $100? Mm-hmm. $100 to draw this dude's idea. Kid was like, what? Are you serious? And I was like, yes. So he comes up with this sketch. We sent that to San Antonio, Texas. It got turned into a legit digital version of it, and
there we are.
It is.
Cool.
It all happened on accident.
That's crazy.
But I remember this dude telling me, if we're going to start this, it's got to be 110%.
Yeah.
All the time. Because I'm not going to do it. Okay, dude. Okay. And here we are. In April will be a year already. And the album's coming out hopefully in a couple of months. Blah, blah.
We did so much for the amount of time we've been together.
Yeah.
We got shot into the whiskey. We got shot into the Tin Roof. We got where else have we played?
The Salty Frog.
The Salty Frog, the Marrow,
Hard
Rock
Rock.
Hotel. All of that happened in less of 365 days. I mean, I don't know, it's somewhat impressive. I guess we're doing something right somewhere. Yeah, so, sure. I mean, to me, it's good old fashioned rock and roll music that makes everyone like.
Yeah, because I'm not a like a metalhead at all. That's like not one of my top genres. But you guys were playing on Saturday because I was at the brewery on Saturday. It was like, I mean, you guys sound really good, really crisp. Even I was with a friend. He's like, man, these guys, you know, they can rock. They're really good, and it's because it's not like over the top. It's like you know,
right? It's people really
people friendly.
Yeah.
And it's bar friendly, and
it's rock and roll, man.
It took me a while to be able to swallow that because I'm so into something else that nobody even knows.
Well, there you go. See, because his drumming style is really heavy. And then my guitar playing is really classic rock, really kind of edge to the metal kind of type that I like. And then our bass player, Gilbert, you know, he's like rock en español, but a lot of classic rock, the Beatles.
He's an indie rock kind of a
guy. An indie rock, exactly. So you mix this all together, and this is...
Sounds like the Winery Dogs.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know who those guys are. And the Winery Dogs consists of Billy Sheehan, the touring bassist for Steve Vai, Mike Portnoy, the drummer of Dream Theater, and Richie is the original guitarist of Poison. They formed a super group, and well, you can only imagine it's rock and roll gone metal.
Yeah.
And the only reason, I mean, I've always grew up with bands that only had three guys, like Cream, Rush, you know, the Jimi Hendrix Experience. There was only three dudes. And for me, it's so great because there's only three of us, and when there's decisions to be made, they're made pretty quick. It's either yes or no, or we don't do it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's not like we have five dudes and we gotta like, hey man, what's up? Or especially when it comes to the music, and what do you think? Should we change this around? How's the arrangement? It's time. We blah 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 blah.
We work well.
Yeah, and we work well
together.
I mean, I'm pretty sure. Look at
that's kind of why I wanted him involved in the Red Line scene, because if we're able to work that well musically, and we have that love for it, I think we could work well with this too. You know. Mm-hmm. It takes a specific kind of person to be involved in a band or as a musician.
Yeah, and then the things like, not to bash on you, but you can bring in a different kind of crowd, you know? Like, you know, you have citizens.
I think all three of us, we and then these other bands that play with us, I love these kids, dude, because it becomes this unspoken people that, I mean, we're just musicians, and they see us write music. And I think it inspires them and inspires me that they're writing their own music, you know, dude. Yeah. And it's just about being original, you know. This is not about, you know, we do cover a couple of tunes, but it's about trying to write the right song, you know, to be really creative, you know, and to really like when I bring music to Luis and to Gilbert, you know, I write the music, and now what I do, I write the music, I record it, and I send it to them. And they listen to it, and they're like, "Oh, you know." So when we get together, we can change it around because it's not set. Because this music,
it's like a rough draft.
Yeah, it's you know, it's just a draft, and we can always change it. And that's what's beautiful about creating music. We change it, we move it. We can just shift it, mold it around, and shift it around. You know, and he's just got a lot of great ideas, man. You know, and Gilbert and stuff. But you put us all together, and then what you hear live. That's us. Yeah. I mean, at the purest sense, you know. And I think people sometimes, you know, I mean, I've been offered gigs sometimes. You know, hey, you want to play in a top 40 band? And for some reason, playing in a top 40 band doesn't really jive with me playing somebody else's music. Yeah. You know, I'd rather crash and burn with my own music than playing Hendrix, because we can go play Jimi Hendrix. We can play like Led Zeppelin. We'll get judged more playing Led Zeppelin because we didn't play the solo right, or we didn't sing the chorus right, or whatever, than our songs. I mean, people can hear our music and they'll go up and they'll say, "Hey, man, who wrote that?" Or wasn't that whatever? And we're like, "No, that's our song." Yeah. And they're like, "Oh, right, you guys wrote that?" Yeah. And that's the gratification that I freaking dig, man. That's it. And that makes all of the, you know.
It makes everything pretty worth it.
Yeah, for me it does, man. It's like.
And then I mean, from hearing you guys, and then hearing Sweet Orange, and then hearing the Mall, and then there's the other band,
Abilene Wallflower.
Yeah, it's they each have a style, and then I mean, just like the creativity that you might get something from them that you can incorporate into your, and vice versa. So I mean, it's crazy how they're kind of similar but different at the same time, and yet you guys are mingling between each other, playing together, and that's one of the things that I noticed at the brewery was that there was a kind of like a genre for everybody that was there. Everybody, when you guys were on, like everybody was like, oh man, these guys, we don't know them, but they rock. They're good. Because Sweet Orange is from Calexico, so they bring in a crowd. So the people that were there to see them, were like, oh, I mean, these guys, they're really good. That's what I was hearing when I was walking around, and then they come on, and they bring their little groupies or whatever. It's funny because I know Quentin. I've known him since he was like freaking 5 or 6 years old. So like I see him and he's like, hey, what's up, man? And it's whenever I'm in my backyard and they're practicing, I hear them because they live like a couple blocks from my house. So it's like it's kind of fun, like to see them and then to see them progress like to where they're at now. And I'm positive. I'm sure that a lot of the one of the biggest reasons where they're at is because of you guys. You guys have helped them record and brought them under your wing and kind of like show them, because I mean you have the experience and these guys are like super young, so having somebody that leads them the way it's really really important. And because when I interview them, they're like, oh yeah, this guy's super cool, and they were talking a lot of good stuff from all of you guys. From
that guy's a fucking ass.
no, for real, they were like really talking a lot of good stuff about you, and that's one of the things that when I was like, I've been watching your Instagram and following you guys, and that's one of the biggest things that attracted me to be here, because I see a lot of what I do, and you guys are helping out those people that really don't have the means to get out there, and because I mean it's expensive to like for me, like all this stuff is like
for sure
it racks up.
We know
it racks up real quick, dude.
Yeah, we know that. I mean, but again, like I said, we buy these. I mean, look at all these guitars and stuff. I mean, when we come and record here, it's like very important for us, we bring like 3 guitars to record one song, and that's how the quality of the instruments and the money that we spend. Sometimes we don't even we spend the money, but then we go, oh my God, man, did I buy all this stuff? Did I buy a $300 mic?
I remember the first time I thought that I was gonna run the red line scene. I didn't really have much money to even talk about it. And like I had my musician's friend credit card.
Oh man.
And I was just all like, man, I'm gonna buy some subs. Fucking dumbest thing you could do. Like just buy some subs. This dude was like, what did you do? And I'm like, this is where it starts.
Right, dude. Right.
And then the next thing you know, we invested in towers. And then the next thing you know, because we don't want rink-a-dink equipment. No, that's what drives people away, and people don't understand that loud and clear. They're set in their ways, whatever the case may be. We went into quality.
Yeah,
that's where I wanted to touch on about how he's talking about professionalism. Like I don't know, you can't see on the camera, but the whole time we've been talking, you're constantly adjusting things, and that's what people don't realize when you're at a show. I don't know if you saw, and that's what helps with. She's amazing, helps out, and he helps out too. We all see, we're out here in the crowd. And we're not there just because, like, oh, we want to, like, just enjoy the show.
He's not enjoying a show. Yeah. Everyone's actually working.
Yeah, she's
Gary's
working.
voice needs to go up.
Yeah. I don't know if you can hear him, but he said...
Descuatro.
But we're listening, and you'll see us constantly run. We're not just going to be like, oh, here it is. It is what it is. No,
which is what you have a lot of. He's right. You have a lot of that. You have people putting up these things thinking, oh, yep, that's it. Go ahead. Good job, bro. You legitimately are costing us people coming in. And... they have jobs. We all have jobs at Redline Scene. Yeah. We say, hey, on this band, I know that this dude plays this solo here. I need you to tell me if I need to crank it up. I need to bring it down. I know the drummer's gonna come in with well, you can explain, because he's the one who sees a little more of that than I do. I think I just do it more I mean, explain what it is that you see that we're doing there.
Well, you just basically adjust to what you're listening to. And I would, she knows for a fact that whole show, I will be looking at her like, hey, like, what is it? Up, mouth, vocal 1 or 2 who's singing, what's going on. And she'll let me know. She'll be there like, okay, up, stop, good to go.
Like
how much to adjust.
Finger signs and everything.
Drums, can't hear, the bass, something. She'll let me know, like, hey, this is what's going on. And you'll think, like, oh, she's just out in the crowd just listening. Like, no. She is listening, but that's all she's doing is listening.
Like, we
listening.
legitimately have 3 or 4 people in the crowd, and, like, he's gonna get paid at the end of the night for this. I'm not fucking taking advantage of everybody,
Yep, Jack in the Box all day.
I told you can get every
Trust
number
me,
you want.
Trust
now,
me,
dude.
he can't eat $100 worth of Jack in the Box. No,
bacon's
no,
extra.
Right?
No, so like it literally be like when they're performing.
Bacon
Like I also like to get creative. I'm very creative. Oh my god, these guys. I like to be creative with the mixer as I am in a studio. So like for example, Sweet Orange, prime example. I have most of their songs that they've recorded me memorized because I've had to listen to them 75 times here mixing them.
Yeah.
So when that comes to play, when they're playing, I'll have my fingers preset a certain way. So when I know the lead's gonna come up, I put him up for that little minute, and I bring him down. And then when I know there's gonna be a part where they go pat in a break, I bring up that snare so that it blasts people more. So we get kind of very creative with it, and then we have like finger things like this is the bassist. So I tell him, hey dude, and he's like up, down, or whatever, or hey dude, vocal 2 or vocal 3. Like we're legitimately throwing like signs at that.
Yeah.
Like and then people walking by, watch how the gangsters. No.
Especially collectors.
Right. That's
What's happening is like we're legitimately like, hey,
damn,
dude,
what sign is that though? You kept throwing that.
This means thank you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
That means something else.
So like it'd be like, this is guitar, this is bass, because usually basses are using their fingers, or drums, or like we're like vocal 1 or vocal 2 or vocal 3, and then he'll be like, hey dude, vocal 2 up. So we're legitimately not just sitting there, we threw this show. Yeah. Look at us. No, we're like freaking out the whole time.
It's not fun.
Now if we know the next band is pretty like straightforward, then we adjust them a certain way and then we kind of leave them alone. Yeah. But if we know this band has certain things that I feel the crowd needs to like, oh dang, that's cool.
Punctuate.
You put that work into it. You don't just put the mixer on for God's sake. That's not. And I'm watching you doing that. I'm watching you. You're over here like up, down,
like,
up. You're doing the same thing that I do on the mixer.
Like the malt, when he does that yell, you gotta be like, okay, you don't want to put it too loud, because then you're gonna get feedback.
Because he's over there singing the song called "Little Rebel," and he sings dan 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 dan. And then in the chorus, it goes really high. So I need to bring him down. Otherwise, people are going to go, oh, crap. So it takes work. It takes work. And I think that quality is what we're trying to achieve. Is we want people to come out and be like, dude, that was like upscale show status, dude. Like, I'd come out to this.
And that's like you guys are laughing at me because I'm like, but and then because a lot of people that have podcasts, even when I did the YouTube with my son, is like, I'm a producer, I'm a writer, I'm a editor, I'm a all these things, and that's the same thing with this. One of the biggest things that I do that I take really a lot of pride in is that I do my research. Like whenever I'm gonna talk to somebody, like I don't just go willy nilly and talk to them. Sometimes it's cool, like just to have a chat, but you have to have some kind of content that you really want to get out there, and then the rest can be just talking, going back and forth. We did a lot here because I didn't really pull out my questions. We've been talking a lot, and that's really cool. But there's times when it's more informational, like if I'm talking to a politician or somebody that I really want, to make sure I ask the an important question, I'll do my research, and that's something that people don't notice, that there's a lot of work put into, like even this little rinky-dink podcast, I put hours into it, whether it's editing or it's doing research.
Time or money, either way you're investing.
And that's the same with you guys. You know, like you said, like you're not really enjoying the show. You're like, oh shit, this guy needs a little bit more volume. Yeah, and that's the quality that you guys put. That you're trying to make sure that people know and notice that you're top notch and not.
That's where you separate between someone that's in it to do it for the people, or just do it to be able to say, hey, I threw the show.
Yeah.
No, he's doing it. His job is to make sure they sound great. Because not only it's his also name in the line too.
Yeah.
He puts out a crap show out there and be like, oh man, red light city, you know how they sound like crap. No, he wants to make sure they sound great and they know like, oh, they came from this sound.
Yeah.
They actually like tried. Because like I said, they can't see, but you're just constantly working to make sure that you hear what you need to hear.
Yeah.
That's what his job is too. That's his main goal.
Yeah.
We want to provide. I know it sounds like we go against the grain of whatever is happening here in this town already, but we want quality. We need quality.
Yeah.
We need to change the way people think here. Because whoever it is that's doing stuff now is driving people away.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying everybody here sucks. I mean, you go to Extreme Sound, well, of course. There are the guys who are going to charge $3-4 grand or whatever, and that's amazing. Like, I wish I could work for them, But what about us down here who are throwing shows? You have a lot of these characters out there that are legitimately throwing shows with rink-a-dink equipment. And then they're like, oh, yeah, we did this for the musicians. And I'm like, well, okay, cool. I see what you're doing. Start investing. Like, start putting that work. Start putting a little more into it so that people can, like, love it more. Grow. There's nothing wrong with growth in anything that you're doing. Yeah. But you just got people that won't. And then, I work in a place where there's 600 plus people, man. And they're not just minimum wage workers. They're 6-figure plus people that go to Pentagonal. And, like, dude, I was sitting there with my family the other day, and I heard this dude. We legitimately had to leave our food. And I'm like, what the fuck? Are you serious right now? Yeah, dude, like, we're bouncing. It's just... And then, so here I come. Hey, come join us at the Pentagonal. And everyone's like, nope. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that's what's happening, man. It legitimately is happening. And at one point, I was like, well, I'm not going to even bother. No, we all got it in our head. Oh, we're coming hard until they see that there's a couple of bands out there that are nobodies that can put on a great show for you live, local, and we're helping them in ways that is not just throwing a show, dude. We're helping them with gear. We're helping them with recording. We're helping them with thousands of dollars of stuff that they cannot afford to use. We got drummers that are like, dude, I don't know what it's like to have a professionally tuned kit. We got one right here. Use mine. We have, just like my rig right there, my guitar rig alone is $5 grand. And I tell people, if you cannot find an amp to make yourself sound good, we will lend you that amp. No charge. We need everything to be up, high top, good. And so you are going to have your haters out there that are starting to talk, and you're going to have they're all about money. It's like, no, it's not about that, dude. It's not. If it was about money, I would not be lending my gear out. Yeah. I'd be like, dude, get your own stuff. Like, no. If it were about money, we would not be putting this much extra little work. Like her. No one's paying her to spend hours laminating set lists. No one's paying her to draw. And she draws a million times better than I do. No one's paying her any of that stuff. So whatever it is that the bands aren't coming to thank her or anything like that, So the little bit of money that we do get is it compensates for us to throw the next show. Yeah. And we're trying to do everything at high top quality because we want that R to become, the Chevy or the Ford symbol that everybody knows in the Valley for throwing shows for artists. Yeah. For sure. That's what we're trying to do.
So when we first started, you're like, oh, so how long does it go? We're at over an hour now. So
okay. Is there a bathroom break?
So I've been needing a tissue. Where can people reach out? Those people that wanna
we have a couple of places that people can reach out to us. I myself am the owner of Redline Studios. You can find me on Instagram, or you can email me at lalvarez111@gmail.com. You can send me an email there if you need any kind of recording done. and you guys may find a page out there for the Red Line Studios with pictures of this place with a ton of my work in there, but I lost access to it. So I do make it loud and clear on any interview. If you find it on Facebook and send a message to it, I will not reply. I lost access to that. So I do not have anything on Red Line Studios for Facebook. I do have it for Instagram. You can search for it under Redline Studio 760. I think it's what it is. And you can send me messages there. You can send me to the email that I provided earlier. For any of your recording services, we record anything: acoustic, mariachi, anything you can think about. We will do it here. For the Red Line scene, you can contact Ivan, Gary, Diane, myself on Instagram. It's as simple as on Facebook, going back. And it's as simple as just typing in on Facebook, Red Line scene. We're always going to be the first one that comes up. And on Instagram, I think it's red_line_music scene 760, I think. Well, as soon as you start doing that, it's going to pop up. Yeah. You can send us a message there too. We also have business cards for Red Line Studio and Red Line Scene.
So yeah, if they see you at any event, they can come out and get that info from you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I always carry them around.
We have, I think, legitimately thousands of business cards.
All right, I have a couple. But no, and I'll put all your Instagram and Facebook and email on the description of the podcast.
Cool.
So people can know where to reach you. Like I said, we're over an hour. Is there anything that I didn't touch that you guys would like to
go down the line? You go, Ivan. We probably only got 2-3 minutes.
Me, I have nothing to think about.
Gort.
No, nothing really. Just know that we're here to give everyone a platform to show what they have.
To provide opportunities that they weren't given to him or Gary growing up.
Nope.
It's artists.
He's grown a lot.
He's all grown up.
I'm not going Saturday.
So yeah, that's you guys. No.
Well, just know for any artists out there that's struggling, that does not have a path, that does not have a social connection to anybody, we do not just focus on recording, making money out of promoting. We develop connections. So any struggling musicians out there that feel they don't have a place to go, contact Redline Scene, contact Redline Studios. We will make you meet someone who is in the same boat as you, where you guys can start, putting your art together, whatever it may be. And just know we're here to help more than anything else. And for those struggling artists who are having a hard financial time, which I know what that's like, we all know what that's like. Mm-hmm. Understand that if you do not have the funds, or you think that this is a game for people with cash, that's not the way it works. That's not the way we're going to treat you. If you need help, you need an amp, you need drums, you need anything, that's what we're here to provide for you, to come out and show this valley that there are some people with talent here. A lot of people with talent, actually. Yeah. And we want to push you guys out there, and, we want to see you leave the Red Line Scene for bigger things.
Awesome.
That's what we want.
Awesome. Well, that's a really good way to end it. Thank you guys for taking the time. Thank you guys for having me up in the studio. Had a lot of fun talking to you guys. And yeah, it's pretty awesome, the things that you're doing. And I definitely invite anybody that's struggling to put out their music or their art, and hit these guys up, and they'll definitely help you out.
Sounds good.
They're legit.
Thank you very much. Well,
all right, guys.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
No, thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.